Okay guys, we are going to go over our inequalities test review. I'm going to go over each question one by one so you can study for your inequalities test that you have on Friday. So if we look at question 1, the first directions say solve each inequality, show your work using inverse operations. So for these 4, we don't have to worry about graphing, we just have to solve the inequality. So let's take a look at number 1. We have n plus 6 is less than negative 4. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to subtract 6 on both sides since this is a positive 6. And that'll give me n is less than negative 4 and negative 6. Since it's the same sign, it'll be negative, and 4 and 6 make 10. So we have n is less than negative 10. Number 2. I have 3p is less than or equal to negative 10. 3p is multiplication, and the inverse of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 3p divided by 3 is just p. I'm going to bring down my less than or equal to, and negative 10 divided by 3 is negative 10 over 3. And we'll just go ahead and keep that as an improper fraction. Number 3. We have 26 is less than k plus 2. Here we have a multiple choice, so we need to solve and choose the correct answer out of our multiple choice. Since this is k plus 2, the inverse of plus 2 is subtracting 2 on both sides. Plus 2 and minus 2 cancel to 0 because they are inverses. I'm going to have k on the right. 26 minus 2 is 24. And we're going to bring down our symbol. So we have 24 is less than k. So that will give us the answer of A. And number 4, we have 16 is greater than or equal to negative 4b. Again, negative 4b, this operation is multiplication. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. Negative 4b divided by negative 4 is just b, and 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. Remember, when we divide by a negative integer, we must flip our symbol. So we will flip our symbol, and that'll be negative 4 is less than or equal to b. Again, when multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you have to flip the symbol. Alright, and this is when we are dividing by a negative integer. So we will have the answer of B. Looking at number 5, it says to write a two-step inequality. Do not solve the inequality. We are just writing it. So Susan is visiting the ice cream shop she wants to buy an ice cream sundae. The sundae costs $7 and each additional topping is 50 cents. Susan only has $15. We're going to write an inequality so she can determine the maximum number of toppings she can add to her sundae. So the sundae is $7, and then you have to include the 50 cents per each topping. So we'll say the topping is X. And she has $15. Since she can't go over 15, 15 can't be greater. So this has to be less than or equal to. The 15 has to be greater. Her total, which this side will be her total, cannot be more than 15. So we will have 7 plus 0.50x is less than or equal to 15. Looking at number 6, it says solve the following two-step inequalities and show all steps. The first thing, you always want to start by moving the number without the variable, which in this case is the 6. Since this is plus 6 or positive 6, we're going to subtract 6 on both sides. 6 and negative 6 cancel, and that'll leave me with 2s is greater than 20 minus 6, or 26 minus 6 is 20. Now we have one step left. Since 2s is multiplication, we're going to divide both sides by 2, and I will have s is greater than 10. Number 7. We have negative d over 5 negative d over 5 minus 3 is less than 1. Again, we always want to start with the number without the variable, which in this case is the negative 3. The opposite of negative 3 is adding 3 to both sides. That'll give me d over negative 5 is less than 1 plus 3 is 4. Now I have division, d divided by negative 5. Since this is division, we need to multiply both sides by negative 5. That's going to cancel and leave me d is negative 20. But remember, when multiplying or dividing, when multiplying by a negative number, you have to flip the sign. So our less than is going to become greater than. Alright, looking at number 8. We have b over 4 minus 6 is greater than negative 7. We always use the number that is without the variable first. So since this is negative 6, we will add 6 to both sides. That'll leave me with b over 4 is greater than negative 7 plus 6. We have different signs, so we're going to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1, and you're going to keep the sign of the larger number, which is the negative 7. So negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1. We now have b over 4 is greater than negative 1. The operation that's happening between b and negative 4 is division, and the inverse of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 4. That'll leave me with b is greater than negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. So our answer will be B. Looking at number 9, we have z over 3 plus 4 is less than or equal to 8. Again, we always move the number without the variable first. So since this is plus 4, we're going to subtract 4 on both sides. 4 and negative 4 cancel and leaves me with z over 3 is less than or equal to 8 minus 4 is 4. Since z over 3 is division, we're going to multiply both sides by 3. And I have z is less than or equal to 4 times 3 is 12. So I have z is less than or equal to 12, which makes our answer A. Alright, your last two questions have to deal with graphing. So we want to choose the correct inequality for the graph below. We have an open circle, and remember, an open circle is going to be your less than or your greater than, and a closed circle is going to be a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So since this is an open circle, we can eliminate C and B as our options. Okay? We have numbers going to the left. So we know that if I plug in a number, negative 4 is less than negative 2. Negative 4 is greater than negative 2. We know that negative 4 is smaller, so that can't be greater than. So our answer is going to be A. And number 17. Since we have a greater than or equal to, remember a closed circle is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. We're going to put a closed circle on negative 5. And we want to determine the direction my arrow is going to go. So I'm going to choose a number on my number line. It doesn't matter what you choose. So let's say I choose 3. So I have negative 5 is greater than or equal to W. So we're going to plug 3 in for W. Negative 5 is greater than or equal to 3. This is not a true statement, so we are going to go left. Since this value we chose does not make this a true statement, we go in the opposite direction. So we draw our arrow in that direction. And that is your review.